welcome back to another episode of East County Voices. We're your hosts, me and Miss Patty here. You getting
Doing
text?
the most.
What's going on?
Happy Wednesday. What's going on? What is going on? Let's see, it's October. I heard a really cool interview today.
Oh,
Um, KPFA, they did some fundraising. Shout out to the amazing journalists out there. Um, Last week's show was cool. Had a good convo. Um, ¿Qué más? What's going on, Carlos? Don Carlos, how are you?
ah, well, I had a car show. I entered my bike in this last weekend, and um, man, that competition there was everybody came. I was thinking it ain't gonna be too many of us bikes there, but I mean,
Mm.
they came from Stockton, they came from Sac, they came from Vallejo, people from Fresno came. Oh, man, everybody showed up, and all the bikes were beautiful. And this one family the whole family got first place in all their stuff, and the son got first place in the bikes competition and the trikes. Mine was a trike too, so I was like, but
Mhm.
I mean, I told him he was going to win. I went and looked at all the bikes, and I said, you know what, your bike's going to win. And because the whole family, they brought cars and bikes, and they were all beautiful. They deserve that. Shout out to the Arroyo family in Stockton.
Mm. There was a healing event coming up in Stockton of Unk the Hunk, Mr. Fab's uncle, and they were gonna do kind of like what they did when they came out to Antioch and they prayed for us at a community event.
Mm-hmm.
Because they do why can't I think of it? Oh, Thug Therapy, and we've had an amazing guest on our show in the past. He's one of the speakers, motivators in those sessions. But yeah, so at 209, shout out Stockton. And that's cool.
Yeah,
We were a part of that big ol' that's a community event, you know?
yeah. Stockton's been having a lot of events
Mhm.
coming up. Even Christian events too. I mean, Weber Point is just very active. If you're out there in the Stockton area, you should check out the city website, or even I don't know if Weber Point has a website, but they've been busy.
Mm.
They've been busy with events.
And then somebody that was interviewed today on KPFA, like one of his I guess asks was for communities or for people to get into the community, like get to know your community, go to a community event, go
Right.
to a community something, um, because that way, we gotta count on each other, on our neighbors, on our family, loved ones, but definitely our neighbors.
Right.
You know, there's a
Right.
natural disaster. If I don't know, you just never know.
No, you
If
don't.
ICE comes into the neighborhood, I don't know.
What do we
It's so
do? We gotta get some.
depressing. So sad. I watched a video today that was really depressing too. It was somebody that tried to take a photo on like the top of a mountain in China, disconnected themselves from the safety rope to snap the picture.
Oh
And what
no.
happened? They went down that hill. And then I watched another video of somebody with their little GoPro on their bikes going down that really steep cliff in
Mhm.
San Francisco by the Golden Gate.
Yeah.
It gave me a lot of anxiety watching that. Glad that person riding is safe, but y'all be safe out there. There's not enough. Um, we got one life to live, and there's not enough. There's no clout worth our lives.
Right.
Without being like, oh, Instagram likes, YouTube's, whatever's, views, um, over your life and safety and where you're stepping into like nature's a forest. Like nature is just not something to like mess with.
No,
Uh, but
no,
yeah, I'm glad we're safe in Antioch, for the most part.
right.
Um, there was like earthquakes not too long ago, but we've
I
been
know
all
I
right.
missed the last one. I felt the first one. I was at it was like a city council meeting at the Nick Rodriguez.
Mm.
I felt the whole building like shift. And I turned and looked at the chief of police, and he was like, I was like, oh, no, you're the chief.
Was it the day of the rapture?
Oh yeah, that too. That was so funny. I don't know. They that's nothing new. Them predicting the rapture. I remember like, hey Sean,
Hi,
20
Sean.
years ago they were predicting it too. Doing good, doing good. So the difference between the last time they predicted this and this time is everybody took it more as a joke this time. But I remember it was like 20, 25 years ago.
Are you talking about the 2000?
No, no, not the
Year
19. No,
2000,
not
the millennium?
no. That somebody predicted it so bad that he had people actually selling all their everything. They were getting rid of everything, their property, everything. They were so influenced, and they were so sure. The guy had charts and dates, and he was using the Bible, even though the Bible says that no man knows the time. But anyway, you know, but
Uh,
he convinced a lot of people, and a lot of people were like, I was even like, oh shoot, I was kind of like looking up, but but I didn't know, what I knew, now.
so this time around, like you said, it was more of a joke. And I
Yeah,
was I was
people
in
are
on that
making.
joke. I'm not gonna lie. Like
Oh man, TikTok took off with this. You guys on TikTok made some funny videos. Oh my god.
yeah,
So
and just memes in general. I was looking at memes. And mine was like around the aliens, that the aliens were gonna be the rapture arriving.
yeah, yeah. Then
Uh,
there's like AI videos of like a mothership that's supposedly out there,
I
and
think it happened. I think it was that meeting that was the international, like the UN meeting or whatever.
uh
I think that was the start of it. Like in my opinion, if there was a rapture, which I'm not a religious person, but like I believe in God and a higher power and historical backgrounds behind every Bible and different religions, like the Quran, the Christian, the Catholic, Buddhism, Hinduism. I believe there's like a lot of pieces of history throughout. But yeah, what you said about influence is like, damn, like, what is an influencer? Look, if
right,
anyone's gonna be out there influencing, or if y'all are gonna be influenced by people, do your research. Do your research, and research is key. The internet is one hell of a rabbit hole, but with data, facts, um, people's personal testimonies, the power of the screenshot, like there's information out there for a lot of things.
right,
So research is key.
right, right.
Yep, yep, yep. What are
What
we
else?
talking about tonight? We have a special guest or what? Maybe.
Yeah, we got Andrew coming up in a few minutes here.
Love me some Andrew. Love me some Andrew.
Right. So
Hmm.
he'll be packed with information. So
He is an East County voice, and
yeah, he is. Yeah, he
he's
is.
really.
And
The first time I met him was at the Coffee with the Cop with the former police chief Tammany Brooks, the one that bounced to the Iowa state before the Department of Justice arrived to do their investigations into the racist, disgusting standard operating procedure that they had happening in their Antioch Police Department. So it was at that Coffee with the Cop that I met him, and I prejudged him. Not gonna lie. I was like, dang, he's kind of aggressive. I don't know who is this guy, but
who
man,
that, Andrew?
yeah. I was confused. I was confused. You both are like giant teddy bears.
I
And
saw him. I was like, Dang, he's hella informative.
But yes,
Like
he's
the
been
first, I was like, "Where's he get all this information?" Yes, but I mean, it's all like he says, it's all public information,
Mhm.
you know. And I think what a lot of people struggle with is they don't know how to get this information, and you know, it's free, just going down to your city hall and requesting all this, you know.
Mhm.
So, I mean, but he has, I'm sure he has files,
Yeah,
you know, because the amount of information that that man has,
he's been doing some studying and some research and putting pieces together and finding opportunities for our community to thrive. That's
right,
all. That's all. I guess that's the ultimate goal. Um, Imagine everybody just be all right, like bring people up, families that have been historically or generationally not given the same opportunities as other people because of the city or part of the county or part of the neighborhood
right,
that folks live in. Like we're trying to minimize that gap and make sure that everyone is heard and everyone is valued because for decades, lives in our little corner of the county, families were terrorized by our police department.
yeah,
There's no ifs, ands, buts about it. And there's children who's missing their fathers. They're fatherless because lives were taken. Um, and it's sad, it's unfortunate.
yeah, it is.
But my point is that Andrew's down, and Andrew's come through to speak on many things, including our fights for the social justice. Ultimately,
Right,
having good people, and making sure there's honest, trustworthy people in positions of power, not mismanaging funds like they did in Antioch with city positions where positions and salaries were paid, yet there was nobody physically there doing the work. Or that also happened in the Antioch Unified School District. There is a survey that went out today, I believe, about input and what families want to see. What I want to see is all the back to blue domestic terrorists out of the school district. I would love that for our community.
of course.
One. But look at the police that abused and misused their badge. They're chill and retired. So what do we do?
I think that's everywhere though, because I've
Facts.
seen like San Francisco, a cop had killed somebody over there, and then they just transferred them to us.
Oh yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
was like, oh, okay. I mean, there's no, I mean, I don't know who polices the police, you know? And that's the question that's been asked for a long time. You know, they say the struggle continues. I mean, it really has, you know? I mean, there was injustice, you know, uh, for a long time, you know, before I was even born. So,
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And we are products of the environments that these systems created.
right.
So, ¿qué más? You know what I want to see in the Antioch Museum? I want to see acknowledgement of the atrocities that happened. That's what I want to see. It's been a while since I've gone, and I think that the police department or certain officers are there like what's that called when you make like a shrine? Like there's like shrines of like Alan Cantando and I think Tammany Brooks too.
In the
And
museum?
yeah,
I didn't know that. I never gone there.
it's kind of scary.
I drive by there a lot too, but
Let's go this weekend.
who could? That'd be,
Antioch Museum trip, maybe.
I don't know what their hours are, but
Oh yeah, that's
yeah.
true. But oh, how was the poetry night with Don Jose of grassroots
Wow.
poetry? That
No,
whole crew.
from going to the ones that when he first started doing this till now, that man, they've grown like a lot, you know, and it's an honor to watch the poetry community come and support as you know. I mean, they other poet like the Brentwood people came, you know. I guess they have poetry out there now, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, so it's catching on. I love it. I love seeing. Oh, we got Andrew calling me.
Okay.
I love to see the people so passionate about the poetry that they read, you know, and even some of them they cry, you know. I mean, it's very, very.
You know, for folks out there, these poetry sessions is a form of expression. It's a space of healing and empowerment and just finding your voice. Grassroots poetry provides the ambience, the space, the mics, the seating, um,
Right.
for anyone to go and just use their voice and express themselves freely. I only read one poem because it is hard getting up. Like, I'm really shy, you know? Sometimes I read one poem. I might read it tonight, actually, in honor of grassroots and just people writing poetry. And I'll see if I could find it. But it is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. And it's important to always raise awareness of not accepting toxicity, anything that brings down your mind, body, spirit, and just knowing the signs and that there is help and it is greener on the other side.
Right.
Yeah. Not
Right.
everybody makes it, you know? Not everybody makes it.
I
But anyways, who do we have? Drum roll.
Andrew trying to get on. Are you there, Andrew?
Welcome.
Hi everyone, can you hear me?
Yes, we sure can.
Hey, how we doing? So sorry I'm getting on late.
No, you're fine. You're right on time.
Thank you for taking the time.
Always happy to be on.
Are you driving?
You know me. I'm actually just leaving the City of Antioch Planning Commission meeting.
Oh, perfect timing. It's fresh on your mind.
What's going on?
Yeah, what is going on? You want to give us a rundown? As you drive safely.
There we go. I think I'm back on. Apologies, you guys. I'm headed to a better stable connection.
It's all good. We were just saying, drive safely. Please drive safely. And if you want to call us back, that's cool. If you want to talk about it while it's fresh on your mind and tell us, like, that's cool too. It's up to you. Are you okay to
Well,
talk?
I'll tell you, I've got my lovely lady holding the phone here while I'm driving, so it's a bit of Bluetooth, but we're definitely safe. So,
Okay.
Katie's here on the call too. Everyone,
Hi,
for everyone out there in the YouTube world.
I love seeing you both always.
Yes, thank you.
Yes,
So, what's going on tonight? What are we talking about?
Well, we want to know, I guess, updates with the finances of our city. There's some potential funding. We talked about it, I think, 2 weeks ago. I believe it's 1 million per, what is that? Per district?
Supervisor district. Yep.
Yeah. And then planning, I guess, what's going on? Like, for instance, a planning commission. What is a planning commission? Are they in every city? What do they do there?
Sure. So we'll start there. So planning commission, right? A city is typically made up of a city council or a governing board. And then that board appoints underneath, that's council appoints underneath boards or commissions. So we have CDBG, we have the planning commission, we have the Antioch Police Oversight Committee, we have Economic Development Commission, the AUSD City Council Subcommittee. The list goes on and on.
Wow. Okay.
And a planning commission specifically is the first board that reviews all of the local planning documents that are adopted by the city through council eventually. They also do initial design review and provide a recommendation on projects that are coming through the city of Antioch's planning department for final review, and then they make a recommendation to city council. So tonight, one of the items that they were discussing, for instance, was a very exciting housing project that I was happy to show up and support, that is going to be bringing 130 new homes to the city of Antioch, but is a bit of a unique type of model. So traditionally, you have what's called single family housing, which is a home that you typically see, right? 2, 3, or 4, 5 bedroom home, whatever it might be. And then you have a multifamily project, which is apartments or condominiums. This project, well, when we look at that, single family homes are typically built to sell, and apartments are typically built to rent. Now, you can sometimes have a middle ground where multifamily apartments or condominiums are built and then sold individually, right?
Mm-hmm.
So here tonight, they had 130 units come across in both the single family ADU and then condominium model. But what's very interesting is they're new homes in a community with amenities, a pool, a park, but it is not going to be homes for sale. They are going to be homes for rent. And of those homes for rent, 10% of them are going to be low income affordable. And this was done by the developer to bring affordable housing on 2 different levels. You have the lower income traditional affordable housing, but then you have what's called the entry level missing middle housing. And what that basically means is, imagine a single family home is built in the city of Antioch. That home will probably sell for $600,000 to $650,000 as a new home, upwards to $800,000. Now, when you buy that home, you have to put money down, anywhere from 3 to 10%. So that could be $15,000 all the way up to $80,000 that you have to come up with and put down on this home. On top of that, you have a mortgage that is probably, with interest rates, going to be close to $4,000 or $5,000 at that price. So basically, that means $20,000 to $50,000 down and $4,000 to $5,000 a month. That's a lot of money for a single family home that a lot of families that don't make that income cannot afford. So what are they stuck doing? They're stuck living in some sort of apartment or finding an older single family home that they have to rent from some private individual. This community is going to build new homes with new amenities, and then they're going to put them out for rent. And so that'll mean you won't have to put in down payment deposits. Your rent is going to be below that mortgage amount, but you get to live in a single family home with your family instead of having to cram into an apartment. So for me, it was really personal because we've struggled so much in the city of Antioch and pushing for equitable housing. And now this means that younger families, lower income families, marginalized community families will now be able to get into a new product home with beautiful community amenities without having to come up with $800,000.
Yeah. Okay. So it's a win.
It is a win.
Yeah.
It is a win. It's definitely a win. And I'll tell you that, people could say, well, gosh, I want to own a home. I'd rather own a home. We can't control what the market does. It's not just Antioch that homes cost $800,000. It's all over the Bay Area and across California and the nation as a whole, right? And so what are we going to do? Are we going to get the rest of the world to change? We can't do that. We can only control what's here in our community. And so the city was innovative in working with this developer to bring a product to families that otherwise would not have been able to get into. So now they can get their families into a single family home They have an opportunity to save up money, build up reserves, and get to a place where they can then go purchase a home. But instead of, once again, having to cram into an apartment and say, gosh, hun, in 5 years, we're going to be there. We're going to be in a single family home with our own garage and our own backyard, and our kids are going to be able to play, and it's just a dream. Well, now you're going to build that dream while living in the reality. And that's what's amazing.
Love that. And Andrew, you said something very important about focusing on what's here, local, in our immediate communities, because otherwise, it's a big puzzle. There's a lot going on, and it reminded me of when George Floyd was murdered, and a lot of people, like in me too, like we were just like, I was so stressed, like what can we do? What can I do? Can I go over there? But I had to bring it in and just focus local and think, okay, well, letting go of what's not in my control, but we could have impact locally, and we did as a community. And so the fact that to our audience out there, Andrew, like we told y'all, he does his research, and the fact that this is a win, that I would have never imagined that families deserve to be in single family homes. They deserve that dog, they deserve that yard, that privacy, that sense of like independence as a stepping stone to make their own purchase. So that's amazing.
If I could respond to that, Patty, I so appreciate and I can so relate and empathize with everything you're saying, because when we look at everything that's happening nationally, when we look at everything that's happening globally, we say, how can we make a difference? How can we touch these people that are outside of our community? How can we bring something that will soothe them and that will heal them, right? And I like to think of it as a bridge, right? We're looking to build a bridge to these other communities and to these other populations. And people think, okay, so this big bridge needs to be thousands of feet long, miles of feet long, miles long. What are we doing? How do we build this big bridge? Well, the same as you build a house, one piece at a time. And so we have to be the piece that starts here, and then we have to bring it to the next piece and the next piece and the next piece. And we have to know that if we stay connected to our local pieces and we push for this, then that bridge is eventually going to get there. And that's what we're building in our nation, because Antioch is just like Pennsylvania, is just like Wisconsin. It's filled with people with needs, people that are marginalized in some communities or don't have access to resources. But what we do have is we do have media, and we have platforms like this. And YouTube allows us to say to those people in Wisconsin or in Pennsylvania, look at what we're doing here in Antioch. See how it's working for us, and see if it'll work for you. And if you find that it does, drop a comment and tell us who you are and tell us how we've helped you. And then we're going to tell you how you can help us. And now we're a global community.
You're going to make me cry. Gosh, that's so deep, but so true. Because that's the only way. We got to build bridges. And it's like, yeah, how do we reach other people? And it's through the platforms and just spreading awareness, because we're collectively cracking this code of systemic change. So thankful to be part of it with you all, and definitely always down to share knowledge and information with our communities abroad. But ultimately, it all starts with using our voices and not being afraid and researching and identifying opportunities like you do.
That's right.
For the houseless too, and then just in general for single family homes. Damn, that's legit. Do you have any update on the mall and what they were going to do there years from now? Is that a project still a thing? Where they were going to potentially turn the Antioch Mall into housing? I think we lost Andrew. It's okay.
Uh-oh.
I teared up on that though. Jeez.
What's that? Oh, about what he was saying? Yeah, we lost him.
Yes. Collectively as communities, man. And he's talking to go national, worldwide. It's empowerment, you know, it just starts there. There was a documentary by Reverend or Dr. Wanda Johnson, Oscar Grant's mom. And in that documentary, I saw Miss Kathy, Miss Leslie May, Miss Catherine Wade. I could see them walking in support. But ultimately, what she was doing was she was reaching other victims in other states, and they just literally didn't know where to start. They didn't know their rights. How can they get access to, body dash cams, and what are they like? There's that fear. There's a level of fear of the unknown, and being in spaces that we aren't normally accustomed to being in. But just finding that power within, and that we all belong here. No matter where you come from, what we look like, how much money we have, we are all part of something. And in Contra Costa County, we are all part of this little community. And yeah, sorry, Andrew, we lost you for a little bit.
Apologies. As we're talking about, I'm struggling to connect to my Wi-Fi.
Oh, it's all good. Get comfy.
You all hear me?
Yes, we can. Yes. I don't know if you caught my last question about one, you made us cry.
The mall.
With the connecting the bridges, and also the mall. That was a project at some point. Is that still a thing?
Okay, can you guys give me just 3 minutes? I'm going to go inside where I got a bit of service, and I'm going to hop back on. But I do have some exciting updates that I think you'll love, so give me just 3 minutes, okay?
Take your time. That's so cool, though.
Right?
So it's going to be less than a mortgage payment. Hello, yes. And if people want to purchase it, then cool too. But ultimately, making it affordable. The 10% makes me kind of sad. I would have liked maybe 50%, 25%, but then it's not profitable. They have to meet certain. But it's a start, the fact that some developers did this, and it's in the works, and that's development. That's community development right there. And for a long time, our community demanded, what did we demand? Rent policies and protections, so that, because there were families that were getting unfairly evicted, rent hikes going up.
Yeah.
To $600 a month.
That was crazy.
There was that, but Antioch and community and organizations came together, leadership, to put a cap. We also passed the anti-harassment policy, where families could not get targeted or threatened because of their immigration status, because of their any legal status, criminal, because of their income. They couldn't be retaliated against by poor services or shutting off electricity. A lot of things were happening, but we also passed that policy of the anti-harassment. And then in addition to that, there was the, rent cap, anti-harassment. There was a third one that we passed as a community, and I'm drawing a blank. But we did it. It was 3 very powerful policies. God, that's gonna bother me. If anyone out there is listening and you remember, here, let me Google this.
All right, I'm back, you all.
I know we had to go through that with Concord as well. It was like 9 years ago, 10 years ago.
Concord took a long time fighting.
Yeah, we were going over there though.
Andrew, do you remember the third? It was rent cap, just cause for eviction. That's what it was.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so where families could not get evicted just because somebody's family member wanted to move in, ultimately displacing families, or just because all of a sudden they want to sell their home, now they're going to displace this family. That was happening a lot. So protections were put in place so that landlords, owners can no longer do that. They're and the types of requirements were like paying for the moving costs or first and second month rent. There was a number of things, but you can look into it at the Antioch. I'm sure there's a place in the Antioch policies or with the attorneys or with the city clerk where, know your rights. Otherwise, Monument Impact does a lot of know your rights, housing, just cause empowerment for community. So it's out there. We did it. So tell us more, Don Andrew.
So I do have some exciting updates that were, I think, led by some frustrations, which is, I think, always the case, right? Sometimes you got to see the struggles to see the light. And I'll tell you, over the last, so we know about the mall being torn down.
That's right.
So last week I decided to go out to the mall and walk the mall and talk to all the tenants inside. And would you believe that 100% of the tenants there have no idea what's going on?
No.
The landlord is not telling them what's happening.
That's hella crazy.
Half of them didn't even know the mall was being torn down. The landlord is actually still trying to lease out space there and bring new businesses in, knowing they're just going to kick them out in a year. And the majority of these businesses are nonprofits and small businesses. Some of that have been in that mall since 2009. And they are so scared about what's going to happen. They have no business there. They have no support there. The city has not reached out to them at all. And their property managers and their landlord, the developer that's redeveloping the mall, refuses to tell them anything, and is actually directing them not to even conversate with each other.
Oh.
So this led me to, okay, well, what's happening in the Summersville corridor? And I came across a low-income preschool daycare center that was approved to go into a building on Summersville across from the mall, into a roughly 3,500 square foot space. They were approved last year, but they cannot get their landlord or their property owner to work with them on building out the space. And so would you believe that they've paid almost $100,000 for nothing? Nothing has happened. They're not able to open their business. They haven't improved the space. They're just getting charged rent every month. So I had a conversation with them and talked about their business and what they provide for our community. And for a lot of people who don't know, but many do know, Summersville is one of our lowest income communities. That Summersville district has an average of a individual making $50,000 or less a year. Some making on average $30,000 a year. The majority of the community is younger, with young children. A lot of single parents that are struggling with daycare and preschool support. And so while they were approved to go into this 3,600 square foot space that could potentially support up to 60 young children, they have not been able to open. So we had a conversation, and it looks like we're exploring the opportunity of them moving into the old 99-cent store. And instead of a 3,600 square foot space, it would be a 28,000 square foot space.
Get the hell out of here.
And instead of supporting up to 60 of our lower income children ranging from ages 4 to 12, we're going to have the opportunity to serve up to 450 kids.
Get the hell out of here.
Question.
Yeah.
Isn't the church that's over there aren't they trying to acquire the other spots there though?
Not the church.
Okay.
So the church is in the CBS building,
Mm-hmm.
and the pastor of that church is Ruben Herrera, Pastor Ruben, right, at Palabra de Dios. So Ruben Herrera, as a private entity himself, acquired that 99-cent store. He himself is a private business owner outside of the church, invested in that building to support a potential daycare preschool center.
That's what's up. Okay.
I remember we talked about him stepping in to do something.
That's right.
That big something.
That's right. And he's not looking to stop there. We're also in negotiations on the Big Lots as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so for that Big Lots, we are hoping to actually provide an infant care center, as well as a potential. I've been working with the Boys and Girls Club of Silicon Valley in trying to bring a Boys and Girls Club back out here to East County, specifically that Summersville district.
Boys and Girls Club
That's perfectly positioned.
is nationwide, and I first learned of it out where I'm at, and I enrolled my son. It was like $75 a week, but I'm so thankful that they had what they had. They had different game rooms and basketball and little sports, and I was just thinking, like, damn, like if it wasn't for the Bay Area Community Resource, BACR, that's in the schools right now, I don't know how I would have been able to be working part-time as I was single mom in it. Not being able to depend on another parent, and it was rough. I remember my son's first year in kindergarten, I said, hey, is there any after school programs? And the response I got was, no, we've never had that here. And then that summer, boom, something changed.
Yeah. It's so important, right? These community resources are so needed. Now, to your point, Patty, a lot of people say $75 a week, $75 a month. For some people that sounds like a lot. For some people that sounds like nothing, right? Yeah. It's all comparative. But what we do know is that children need these resources across the board. And so what we're looking to do is, for those costs, yes, Gretchen, would be incredible. Yes, 100%. So for those costs, we want to go to the city of Antioch. There's CDBG funding that we talk about all the time.
Yes.
And we want to see them provide subsidy support. So for our most vulnerable and our low income communities, they're not paying $75 a week. They're not paying $75 a month. Their children are getting free access to these resources.
Yep.
And they're alongside all of the other community members and their neighbors and their friends.
That's so dope. That's so dope.
Yeah. So I'll tell you, between that church and between that daycare preschool center and between that infant center and that Boys and Girls Club, we're talking about almost 80,000 square feet.
I love it.
Almost 1,000 people at one time being able to be served.
Yeah.
So the reason I bring this all up is because there is a cost for business in life, unfortunately, right? And Ruben, for the 99-cent store, has taken that first leap and has put that first significant cost in. And the preschool and the daycare center are taking that next leap, and they're putting dollars in. But we have to build out a space, right? We don't want a space that is just thrown together. We want a space that's built to code, that's beautiful, that's safe for our children, that has top-end amenities and access to resources.
Yeah.
And so one person, two people, it's a burden. A community together, that's a gift. And so we as a community need to rally. We're looking to provide fundraisers. We want to get back to the old school spaghetti feeds, right? The ice cream socials, right? The car shows.
Tacos.
We want to tap in tacos. That's right. We want to tap into these resources, and we want to get people to show up. I don't care if you have $20. I don't care if you have $100. I don't care if you're just showing up to say, I love you and I support you. We'll take it all.
Where can people show up to? Where can people find information, or if they want to donate?
So this is all new. I mean, when I say new, you guys, these are meetings I'm having on the daily, literally earlier today. And so what I'd like to do is I'd like to come back to you guys in a week or two. Okay. I want to work with you, Patty, because I know your strengths. Yeah. And I want to brand this. I want to market this. Carlos, we know your strengths. Gretchen, we're not going to forget those pancakes. And we want to get this out to the community. We want to get this out before the wet season. Now, I'll tell you that it's going to take time to build out that 99-cent store. So my goal for this winter season, I'm looking to put an ice skating rink in that building for the winter season for our youth and for our families. And we're looking to get people out there and do hot cocoa drives, right? And just be together, be one, right? People think that you have to come together for a cause, and they forget that they are the cause, right? And so that's what we want to do, is we want to bring community together, and we want to support Ruben. We want to support this daycare preschool. And most importantly, we want to support the kids in our community. Rock climbing walls, right? Video arcades.
A zip line.
A zip line, right? I mean, we want to provide top end amenities for our kids.
Yeah.
No more just throwing together a corner and saying, hey, go make do. No, this is our future. These young kids are our future. And we all know how difficult of a time this is right now. So, I just want to finish with saying that I always appreciate you guys there. And I know that you all will rally behind this and support. But more importantly, we want to get it out to the community and get them to rally and them to support, because the build out of this space is significant, right? We're talking about potentially $200,000 to build out this daycare preschool. I've got to put in water lines for toilets. We've got to put in kiddie cubicles and toilets and sinks, right? And we have to do it the right way, right? Because it's also code and it's regulation, but it's also because it's safe and it's what's right for our kids. And we have 120,000 people in our city. If I had everybody in this city give me $2, it's done.
Yes. We're on the same. I was doing math calculations. I was like, well, we have 100 and something thousand. If everybody, so there it is, people. Imagine that, $2 per person.
That's right.
So yeah, that's the other thing.
That's nothing. They spend
for your
more
messaging.
than that.
Don't pay a whole lot. People charge crazy amounts for marketing and campaigning. No, this is the contribution to the community to get the word out. We could Canva collab. That's my quickest boom, boom, boom. Cause it's like, you tell me what your vision is, but we'll work, I got you, and our whole team will stand behind this. Absolutely. Before I forget, have you all heard of the day labor program for Monument Impact?
I've not.
Okay, so Monument Impact, they've been around like 20 plus years. They started because there were day labor workers who didn't have citizenship that were getting targeted and conquered, getting deported, not being able to work. So they ultimately created a safe space where they would link up and organize to get to work. They expanded over those 20 years. They just had their gala the other day. It looked amazing. Like, they had a great time, did a lot of fundraising. But they've expanded to different sections like community engagement, economic development. But the day labor program is their heart and soul, because they hire workers, immigrant workers, to do community work. Like, say they remodeled their office. They have so many day labor workers, but not enough work, I feel like. And just imagine if it would have been great for them to expand what they do in Concord, because they meet in Concord, and then every worker is vetted. They have like some kind of background. They're like reliable, and they have different skill sets. And a lot of them do indoor construction and outdoor landscaping and you name it, and at a decent like labor cost to where they're getting a small contract but then also providing services. And I don't think they expanded into Antioch. At one point I had recommended, imagine if they had some kind of a day labor bus to go and do work, or some kind of form of transportation, because in our communities the biggest barriers to I guess making it or being able to just have, what is that, just making it, it's transportation, language barrier, and technology. Not everyone is tech savvy or has a ability to hop on and research and do this and that, or they don't speak English, or they don't have a card to get to the place or time. It's those things that ultimately hinder a lot of growth. But I know they're there. And then there's who else?
Send me some information on that, Patty.
I got you.
Send me some links. I'm going to do some digging, and I'm interested in that. And let's see if we can get something like that out here. I'll tell you, when it comes to programs like that, you've hit the nail on the head. I mean, when you look at transportation, it's duly beneficial, right? People say, gosh, the majority of the work is in the greater Bay Area and commutes are so difficult, right? And I don't own a car, so how do I get there? Well, then we talk about van pools, right? Or bus pools, right? And then on that hour and a half commute out to Fremont or San Jose, you engage this community on the bus, right? If it's one-on-one tutoring, if it's additional workforce development, if it's resources in health insurance or access to affordable health care, you create an opportunity to ride the bus. Just ride the bus. I mean, when we think about, man, I used to take the city bus from Antioch to Barton, Pittsburgh. You hop on the 388 over by Deer Valley and you end up over at Bart, an hour and a half later. Right? And people say, that's time wasted. But is it? Because that was my time when I was researching things. That was my time when I was learning something new on my device, right? Or I was meeting somebody new and having a new conversation. So we just have to find the right space and the right time and bring them together, right? And so I see these commute opportunities as a chance to, hey, reduce somebody's cost burden in owning a vehicle and paying for insurance and having maintenance, but also enrich them and their families in access to all these other resources that communities should have. So to kind of piggyback off of what you're saying, I support what you're saying, and I think that there's a lot of growth and opportunity for our community. I think you're muted, Patty.
But yes, for sure, for the community out there, if you don't know already, we are serial community entrepreneurs, always finding, as crazy as some things sound, man, things are coming to fruition and it's possible. Like Andrew and many other advocates have been for years fighting for housing justice, affordable housing, the hotel as a transitional, this one coming up, called them out when we missed an opportunity. It was just making things happen, and this is exciting. I just sent you the Day Labor Center, and yeah, just make that, see if we can get that connect. I can try on the back end too, and be like, hey, there's work coming, and it's going to take a community to make it happen.
Yes. And kind of once again, Patty, to what you were saying, I'm working on a farm worker housing project out in Wesley, California, below Patterson, right? And for a lot of people that don't know the history here in California, how did our migrant farm worker programs happen, right? How did the migrant housing programs start in California? Well, that dates all the way back to the Bracero program, right? Where we were bringing people up from Mexico and giving them jobs here as day laborers and providing migrant housing. and then supporting them going and taking that income back to Mexico. But then we as a country got greedy and we said, we don't want to give you this. We don't want to give you housing. We don't want to give you resources. We just want to take from you.
Here's below minimum wage. Take that.
And below minimum waged. Now there's an evolutionary tide that's here in California that's at a micro level. What that means is that within 40 years of shifting in one direction, we are course correcting. We are saying we're putting out millions of dollars annually to create housing for these families that came here through these programs and struggled. Because a lot of people don't realize that migrant housing is accessible, but it's older, it's dilapidated, and it states that you have to move every 6 months. Can you imagine the requirement to uproot your family, your kids, and put them in another school for 6 months just so you don't lose stable housing? And so the state of California said, that's not right. We messed up. We're going to provide the dollars to build the long-term static stationary housing that's going to have the wraparound resources and the child care and provide it for your community. But what's missing is, who here has heard of the Joe Cerna Jr. Farm Workers Program? Nobody.
Hi.
Right? And so we have to scream it from the mountaintops in the hopes that somebody somewhere hears the whispers, because otherwise we're drowned out in the noise, right?
Yeah.
And so that's why I appreciate, again, you all in this platform. You know that I get a bit long-winded, but it's so relevant, because right now, somewhere out there, someone is struggling, and the things that we're talking about are solutions for their problems. So we just got to bridge that and build that connection.
Yes. And what you're talking about is absolutely, I think it was 2 years ago that for the first time there were some videos of the living conditions of families. And I remember it was like really small shacks, very like dusty, very not kept up, looking like it's been there for a long freaking time. Those are probably those houses you're talking about.
You're completely right. And what's wrong with our society is that government looks at these houses or these developments and they say, not what can we do better? They say, how much worse can we let this go before we have to deal with it? And that's the wrong approach, right?
Absolutely. We want to be proactive and preventive, and that's pretty dope. Hijas del Campo, Maribel, she's a local advocate for farm workers, and we should interview her soon. Maybe we could talk more about migrant work and tell us more about this project. I swear, you amaze us every time, Don Andrew. Thank you for giving us some amazing community updates. This huge wins. This is exciting. Just like yes, hell yes. We don't do 3 minutes around here.
Right.
Not 3, not 10. I had a thought that I had in mind. It slipped. Okay. Don Carlos, Andrew, any last?
Any final thoughts, Andrew?
I just wanted to say that, and I say this all the time, but with everything that's happening, the chaos out there, I want to reiterate to you all, the people that are commenting here on these videos, this is our circle here in our community. And, I'm relatively new to this community, right? And I'm so appreciative of you all. The way that you've embraced me and you've embraced each other. And most importantly, you continue to embrace your city, right? People forget that when you hug someone, there's always something that's trying to pull us apart, right? Whether it's time or whether it's the physical elements, right? And we have to find a way to stay connected. We have to find a way to stay embracing each other. We can move together. We can flow together. But that requires a synergy. That requires us all being in the right headspace, and most importantly, being in the right heart space. And what I appreciate about all of you here tonight, and then also the commenters and the people that watch these videos, you are the glue in our society. You are what keeps that warm embrace around the people that don't know how to show up, or they're afraid to show up, right? And so, I just applaud you all. I so appreciate this space. I love getting on and watching these videos, even when I can't join. Patty, you were just remarkable in your advocacy, your passion, your knowledge. Carlos, your spirit, your heart, those tacos. How do we continue to build together, to grow together? A lot of people say that's the question. I would say that this is the answer. And so I appreciate you all and letting me be on this space, giving me more than those couple of minutes. And I'm so excited for where our city is going. I'm so excited for what I saw tonight at the Planning Commission. I'm so excited for individuals like Councilmember Torres Walker, Councilmember Wilson. We literally, you look at, Mayor Thorpe Hernandez, right? You look at these council members that are no longer with us that have laid groundwork, that brought a passion. And sometimes we think, well, this person is wrong for this reason, or this person is right for this reason. Of course they are, because we're all human. Nobody is going to be 100% correct, but nobody is 100% wrong. And so that's what I appreciate again about these spaces. I'll shout it from the rooftops and scream it from the mountaintops. And Carlos, really, I wanted to really also, again, applaud you for the work that you're doing in these bike builds, the work that you're doing with our young community, your passion and your knowledge there, and your commitment, more importantly. And so, as we explore these youth programs in Summersville, I want to find a way to support these programs that you all already have going too. So those are my thoughts, and I love you guys and appreciate you always.
Love you too. We love you too, though, Andrew. East County voice in the house.
Right.
Tears to the eyes again.
I'm not gonna cry. No. Thank you, Andrew. Wow. And thank you all for tuning in. We got some people out there watching. So I'm gonna
if I might really quickly, one more quick shout out to Mary. I wanted to say to Mary out there, we love you and we miss you on the show always. I know you're on here so frequently. We sometimes seem to miss each other. And so I'm looking forward to connecting with you on the show again. And just my love to you and your family always.
Yeah.
Yes. Miss Mary, we miss you. See you soon. Yes.
So that's it. Thank you all for tuning in. East County Voices. We're on every Wednesday, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Make sure you guys don't forget to tune in. Don't forget to this. Oh, it's not going to do it now. Come on.
Spread the word.
Don't forget to do that. And Gretchen, we won't forget the breakfast pancake, the pancake breakfast. All right. Thank you all for tuning in. We appreciate all of you guys that watched and everyone that's on the show. We couldn't do it without you. Much love to everybody. Peace and God bless.
Until next time. See you soon.